Inside the Deck is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, sellers of Magic the Gathering and many other card and board games. GatheringMagic.com, your #1 resource on Magic the Gathering, strategy, and culture.
My name is Hunter, and I'm playing Green, White, Splash, Red, Trap. This is a modern deck, and its purpose is to get mana accelerants into cheating Emrakul into play as soon as possible. Well, there are technically 13 ways to cheat it, actually, into play. You have the 4 Windbrisk Kites, the 4 Summoning Traps, and the 4 Through the Breaches. And you also have the 1 Mosswar Bridge. And those all cheat the big fatty who just says goodbye to all your opponent's permanents. The reason why I decided to play this deck for this tournament is because it's a very open field, and when it's a really open field and you really don't know what decks you're playing against, it's a good idea to run something really powerful, because if you're playing a very high level deck, you just beat decks that are trying to do the same thing but less power level and more consistent, but you just beat them faster. The blueprint for this deck was based on the old extended green-white trap deck, which ran more accelerants and more ways to, and summoning traps and Windbrisk Kites as well into Emrakul. After we had the original blueprint, we wanted to fit this deck in the modern format. And the modern format was quite quick, and turn 4 wins are very common. So we wanted the extra reach with Through the Breach, and so that Splash is what came about. Now green-white, old extended trap, with a couple of new tricks and Through the Breach, which is actually now its main wing edition. Now Summoning Trap is a low-costed way to put Emrakul into play off of your mana accelerants. And also, if your opponent counters your spell, you look for the top 7 still, and you use the card, it's still cast for 0. And you look for the top 7, and you can find an Emrakul and put it in play. Or Primeval Titan if you didn't find the Emrakul and just win next turn. The Windbrisk Kites is also an important card, because you can turn your mana accelerants into Emrakul. Just go attack your mana accelerants, flip over Emrakul, take another turn. Remember, it's cast this time, so you can actually take the extra turn with Windbrisk Kites. And then you're not going to lose that game when you Windbrisk Kites Emrakul after attacking your mana accelerants. The third way, which is usually actually the main way this deck wins, is Through the Breach. And Through the Breach, you usually try to get on turn 3 with your mana accelerants. That way, you can put Emrakul on turn 3, demolish their board, put them on nothing, because it puts the Emrakul into play from your hand with haste. Even though you lose the Emrakul, you still have your mana accelerant guys that will be able to do the last damage before they can recover. In my sideboard, I have 3 Timely Reinforcements, which are very good against aggro decks, such as Mono Red and Delver, and they help activate Windbrisk Kites to cheat Emrakul into play. This Iona Shield of Myria is for any deck where you cheat into play and they just can't win and they can't go pie it. The Gasali Pride Mages are for any deck that you really want to destroy equipment or like enchantments, and they don't have a ton of, but they're also very good against card decks like Affinity, where you want to destroy every artifact possible. These cards are for Storm. The Ephor's Candace and the Rule of Law both basically do the same thing, so you want to play a mix, I think. Creeping Corrosion is solely for Affinity, and you should never side against anything else. Summoning Salts are solely for Tron decks, and they do their job by making it very hard for your opponent to assemble the mana to make most of their cards in their deck useless. Both the Phyrexian Invoker and Trope Orb are for Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod, Kiki Angel Pod. Make sure you never side in more than 4 or 5 cards in a matchup, because this deck's plan will not work otherwise. The most important thing to remember when you're playing this deck, though, is your game plan. When you got to decide for your opening hand, am I going to be casting Through the Breach with this hand and winning like through the Emrakul? Or am I going to be trying to Summoning Trap, Primeval Titan, and grind them out with Emrakul later? Or am I going to be trying to go beat down strategy? You got to decide this in your opener, mulligan appropriately because of it, or else this deck will not function. So you have to play to how your hand is and play differently completely based on that. If you want to play Emrakul early and look at your opponent's face and see them cry as all their permanents get washed to the graveyard, and you want to play a deck that's high power level, I guess this is the deck for you.